Well, this is gonna be fun. Okay. All right. Yo, Tyrannosaurus Rick in the house. Look at this. This is a little dinosaur. Spirit Warrior. Can Bam recover? No, next show. This one's done. Hey, you might not be wrong, but we're gonna talk about it. Spirit Warrior, you ain't wrong, man. And then Mama D, what is up, Mama D? It'll be interesting to see how they sabotage themselves even more as company and individuals. I'll bet they thinking the easy way was the right choice, and now Josh would not go to court. Yeah. Okay. So the one of the reasons I'm doing this stream is because of Echo Base Networks videos. Shout out to Echo Base because there's levels to this. Okay. And I'm gonna give you guys like a little bit of insight to my expertise because my pitch to Bricks and Minifigs when I was over there, or when I was going in, was my background in business, which was um, to turn around reputation. How I would be able to do that, how involved I'd be in the community. That was my point. And I'll give you a little bit of insight on what was going on at the location I bought prior to when I was there. Okay. And what's up, Christina99? So one of the weird things that was going on with and I'm not gonna say how many previous owners there were at the location, but one previous location, okay, that I had to turn around the reputation. So this owner was married. Okay, there were customers that would receive texts from this particular owner and trying to hook up with them while they were married and the customer was also married. Obviously the customer wasn't feeling it, didn't want things to go forward, blah 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 blah. This also owner, like the things this owner violated practically the entire franchise agreement. There was fake Lego mixed in with real Lego. They would buy from like the Chinese market, so it wasn't all real Lego, so that he can make a bigger profit, which is understandable since Toy House gives you nothing. And I'm trying to only point out very little bit because this particular owner did a lot. Start an eBay page and sell bulk, and then would tell the owner would tell their employees to mix in the dirty bulk with the clean bulk that's being sold, so they don't have to spend so much time cleaning the dirty bulk. I'm talking about bulk that smelled like cigarettes, bulk that had cat piss in it, bulk that was dusty, just whatever. And if you bought it online, you were gonna receive pretty much a tub of cat piss with Lego. Okay, that's pretty much what you're gonna be receiving. And so, fast forward, I come in, right? What's up, Animal? And what's up, the Unreal Aussie? It's always good to see you guys. And Zombie Box Reviews with the cheeks. Awesome. So, okay, I had to turn around all that kind of negative press, negative community press, right? Because the brand Bricks Minifigs was still small, but it was growing. They offered me the Orlando spot at first, and then I was like, no, my expertise is in turning things around, because also this Bricks and Minifigs was the only one in the state of Florida. There was one that just opened up, but then the hurricane kind of took them out. I went to that location before they were taken out. They had this whole situation happen, opened it up again, and then now it's a corporate location once again. But when I got the location, I was like, this is the first one in Florida. This one determines the reputation of all of Bricks and Minifigs that's going to be here in Florida. So I'd rather not open a brand new one because that's a lot more capital. I'm not going to spend, it needs to be under under 100 grand. Okay. So then we made a deal, whatever, got the location, right? There was a lot more work that I was expecting to do. I studied as much as you want, did my due diligence, but you only get an idea of everything you really got to do once you're finally in it, especially to turn something around. It is so much freaking work. So I'm hearing all this stuff where like the prices are dishonest. I'm hearing like the previous owner would hit on customers while they were married. There was employees that would like send people to other spots instead of theirs. Employees that would like have political arguments in the middle of the store, yell at customers. It was quite the freaking mess, and almost nobody had training, right? So what do? I had to freaking start fixing first internally how the store is gonna look, how it's been treating customers, the level of training every employee has. If it's also worth reprogramming an employee, because you also have to determine that with employees, seeing which ones are open to actually making the change or they're going to keep their old habits. And whether it was my choice or not, when I came in, there was, let's see, around 5 to 6 employees, something like that. Um, and in around a month, there was only one left. And that one you guys met. It's Devin. So, what did I have to do to turn the reputation around? Obviously, I retrained the employee, took everything out in terms of financially that wasn't going to make money for that location, and really bring in an environment that like new customers would feel welcome. But what did I have to do? I had to go out to the community. I had to be somewhat of a pillar in the community, talk to police departments, talk to fire departments, really connect, go to people's homes to provide the trade. Like you have to kind of be boots on the ground when it's a mom and pop shop. Okay. On the corporate side of things, and I finally turned it around. Before I got in there, other than that year, they never, with the previous owner, they never even hit $200,000 in sales, which is um despicable. It's if you can't hit $200,000 in sales of your first year in any retail business, pack your bags, man. You ain't gonna you ain't gonna make it. That's ridiculous. So yeah, but the guy kept going. I don't know where he was getting the money, but he kept going. So I've explained that like now we've gone to the villains of the story, Bricks and Minifigs, right? We have moved to the emotional state where we're focused on Matt and Ammon, Josh Johnson, and Brandon Best, right? So the brand itself, we're also giving more humanity to every individual store owner. Am I right? And obviously there's good ones and there's bad ones. And trust me, like it's been a nightmare, but I've been trying to figure out and making a list of everybody who is supporting corporate and everybody who isn't supporting corporate. And it's a lot to vet through. But we moved on from the brand itself into the villains of the story. But we're getting back to the brand, which I didn't really expect because I thought, which again, another naive thing of me is like, I thought people would catch on to understanding how business works if you own a store. But as you can see, and it's not going to be the first or last stories we'll hear. With Echo Base Network streams or videos, the woman with the autistic kid got, taken advantage of at a Bricks and Minifigs, offered $100 for around $1,000 worth of merchandise, right? That is, I don't know, freaking disgusting because You could probably tell that the kid is a little bit on the spectrum, and that's what you're gonna offer him, like really, and you're gonna say it's dust. Like the incompetence is insane. And then literally maybe an hour later, they go to another one, and they give him a fair offer. Okay, so you can be wrong is the greatest sign of intelligence there is. Yeah, but this is not me admitting that I was wrong about the current information I had at the time. The and I'm not saying I'm wrong either that Bricks and Minifigs can't survive. Okay, but now the reason why they can't survive at this point is important because even though you get rid of corporate, because the brand can't survive. Like if things are still going the way they're going, if you get rid of corporate, you get rid of the operations manual. You keep on the good people. The brand Bricks and Minifigs themselves stays alive. But I would say the no, not the store coming back to the brand, but came back to the brand through individual owners. So through the individual owners, as we can see, like we knew that there was going to be bad owners, but none that were so dumb to take advantage of somebody who is, you know, mentally handicapped, or to customers, especially at this point, this late stage in the game. So I guess you could say I was wrong. Okay, I'll admit that, yeah, for sure. But it's not to say that they couldn't survive before. They could have, but because of what they're doing, the individual store owners, they definitely cannot survive because it's all going to be connected to the brand. It's kind of like GameStop, right? Where at one point one GameStop offered something else versus another GameStop in a different city. Walmart still does that kind of business practice where if it doesn't sell at well in one Walmart, it'll be on sale there, but it won't be on sale at the Walmart two cities down, right? So they still do that because they're big enough to be able to do that, and their market is within that territory. But the Lego market, the Lego customers, they drive, they travel, they will go to a popular store from Georgia to Florida to Alabama to Maine down to Connecticut. Like they'll be traveling around, and they're not YouTubers or anything. They just want to see these awesome stores, right? Like a Atlanta Brick Co. or Orlando Brick Co. or it's a Block Party. Like these really great individual stores. And at one point, it was Bricks and Minifigs. And so right now, the problem is that every individual owner represents the brand. Okay, they represent the brand entirely. So if you are an owner of a really good reputable store, you're like, and your customers start going to another store where they hate, where like that store is doing bad business practices, then that reputation goes on to your store. Some will leave, some will be like, no, I'm only going to shop at this store, but it's going to be start dwindling down your customer base. As you can see from corporate themselves, you'll have the people who are loyal to you, but heard the things from corporate left, and the people that are loyal to you don't like corporate, but because they've connected you on a personal level, they'll stay. And the people that did the same thing, connected you on a personal level, traveled around, half are going to leave because of somebody else's reputation or how they take care of their store versus how you take care of yours, right? So what does that mean? Every bad seed, it's going to be a weed that goes into all the other stores. So the purpose of a corporate office is to have a standard set throughout. And unfortunately, the standard set for the individual store owners in terms of trades, destroyed. Like, I'll give you I've pointed this out before, right? There was one store, actually this has happened multiple stores, where they bought a territory that was so close to one territory that they were pretty much encompassing, sharing the same customers, right? And what do they do to make sure that they got the best customers or got the best reputation? The ones with money, and you were only able to do this when you have money, is you gave full price for trades. That means if somebody brought in a set that was worth only $100, they're offering $100 cash. And it's a limited time that they do that. But you only need to change your reputation for a limited time. Okay. or to increase your reputation for a limited time when you're starting from zero. Not negative, from zero. So you open up your store, they're doing this even bulk, where you usually offer anywhere from $1 to $3 per gallon. They're offering $10 to $20 a gallon. They're getting every single trade. So what happens? Maybe that those same loyal customers that went to your store before, they'll still shop at your store, but they're no longer giving you trades. Therefore, that store's inventory isn't cycling in and out. It's only cycling out, and they have to work even harder to get inventory within their store. But the other spot is getting the same amount of customers, and more so because now they're going to have much more inventory that's going to be rare to find, but they've already gotten the reputation of being a great store to trade. Eventually, this one particular store, and I'm not going to name names, that I know that did this, they got the reputation to be like one of the best, that now they're offering the same as corporate Bricks and Minifigs, 20 to 30% of its current value, which is obviously disgusting and it's thievery, right? But they're succeeding because reputation is everything. So when somebody goes in there, let's say they sold a set for $100 and it was worth $100, they got 100% of their value, and now they bring in the same set and they're only getting $20, 20% of its value because it's valued at $100. They're going to be happy because they were happy before. And what's in their mind is that this company, this particular location, has a good reputation and they are fair. So regardless of the price that they offer, inside the customer's mind is that they are fair. That's how it works, right? When you do that strategy. Now, they have to keep going up and down to maintain the reputation, whether it's offering seasonal big trades, like, hey, we're going to offer 70%, everybody come in, and people are going to be ecstatic. And then they go back to maybe they offer that 70% because, Christmas is coming up and they got the Christmas prices about to be put on the shelves, which, especially for retired items, even online, it does increase around the month of September, October, November, December, right? So, yeah, let me get some water. So, I had to change the reputation. I had to do so much crap. And as you guys saw, these people that offered a ridiculous trade eventually sent a message being like, hey, come back to our store. We'll offer you $25 store credit. Like, pretty much come back before it's too late. And an apology goes a long way, as everybody knows. And it was ridiculous how they did it. So they're damaging their reputation quite a bit. Now, let's say you get let's point out a company that destroyed its reputation and then got it all back. Let's look at Apple, right? Steve Jobs was fired. The company was going down. Like, servers were terrible. The company was just practically in shambles, right? To the point of where, we almost got, one of my favorite video games, Halo, on Apple, on Mac. Not Microsoft, on Mac. That's what their innovation was pretty incredible. But then, they understood that their company was almost bankrupt. It was getting destroyed. Steve Jobs comes back in. CEO comes back, the good CEO, the creator, or whatever you want to call him. He comes back, and what does he do? He becomes a member of the board and has the highest stock in the board of directors, and starts firing the ones that he doesn't think can share the vision, pretty much giving himself immunity and then accumulating more assets to the point where, even though it was a publicly traded company, it was privately his in a way. Okay. Obviously, a CEO makes a difference. So let's say all corporate leaves, every single one of them. They get rid of the operations manual, all of it. So BAM gets the vendors, they get, the brand name, everything stays there. Okay. And let's say they get people you trust, a big name, maybe a famous name. Let's say George Lucas. George Lucas is now going to run Bricks and Minifigs. Man, how many people are just off that alone as being like, holy crap, I got to shop at Bricks and Minifigs now. Because reputation speaks volumes. As we can see, with Bricks and Minifigs being the company that they currently are today, they're getting absolutely ruined. But what happens when you bring in somebody that is already famous, that is like, how about this? Let's say right now big names are Tom Holland. Tom Holland is doing the Spider-Man films, and then let's say he creates a company, 2 to 3 years, you see that it's extremely successful, and now he's a part of Bricks and Minifigs. He is the sole owner of Bricks and Minifigs. Phenomenal stuff. Like, how many people that are mad right now in the chat would be like, maybe I'll give Bricks and Minifigs a shot. Tom Holland is a part of it, or George Lucas is a part of it. They're the ones running the thing. I love those guys. Not based off like any changes, just off them alone being the CEO of a company. And like, you got to understand how popular and how big Bricks and Minifigs really is. What I was waiting for a lot of people to investigate deeper and see who their connections are. So I'll give you guys a little insider scoop, okay, on who they were gonna, whether it was gonna be a partner up or a contract or a one-off deal. And other people can look into it. Bricks and Minifigs, they were doing a project with Mr. Beast. And ain't nobody reporting that. Why the freak has that not been reported? Is it because Mr. Beast's team doesn't want to get involved? Is it because they already cut ties? Like, nobody talked about that. You got to understand, like, business is a big thing. It isn't just, okay, like, this company can never recover. No, they have all businesses usually have contingency plans, whether they're idiotic businesses or not. Now, credit to Rose Investigates, like with the band map and everything, and that's in the chat. Shout out. As much as like I get bored, it doesn't take away the importance of the band map. It is really great work. Like, it's also important to understand how well companies either don't care or have protected themselves. Okay. What happened with the 2007-2008 market crash? The reason why you point out those 2 years was because everything was supposed to hit end of 2006 and started in 2007 with the real estate market crash worldwide, right? So, but what happened? The banks knew what they were doing. So with what they were doing, they weren't prepared to have other people shorting their positions, and especially not smart people doing it, making sure that there was no solvency issues so that the banks had to pay. But they didn't care enough because they knew that the taxpayers were going to bail them out. But more importantly, they were going to wait until all the CDOs, every tranche that they had was so valuable that they were going to start selling him or offering him to unsuspecting, how do you say, customers, right? Whether they were millionaires, landlords, or just small run of the litter, and being like, okay, you bought high, here you go. This is worth $1 million. There you go. They know the actual price because now they have a stake in betting against that, because they're the ones that priced it. I'm going to price this at $1 million, even though I know it's only worth $10. This guy bought it for $1 million. Now I'm going to short it against it, saying that I know that this price is going to drop. So then however many drops, I also make that much more money. And so their companies are then therefore safe because they bet against the own product that they put the value to and sold it to somebody else, and also bet against it. So that way they don't get shut down. Some banks weren't able to do that, but the big banks that like stayed around, that we know today, that survived that, all of them did that. And probably some of you partner with those banks or use those banks to have your savings and checking accounts. And so, not saying I don't know. And then, there was a lot of these banks went to the White House and then made a deal, and they probably already knew that the taxpayers were going to bail them out. You saw with COVID when it was the big retail stores, and then everybody was fighting about we should make minimum wage $15 minimum, but that only kills the mom and pop shops, the local businesses, the small businesses. That helps the big businesses because now they can no longer compete. Therefore, if you start a business, it's extremely difficult to grow. Like when people talk about the tax bracket system and how it helps the rich but doesn't help the poor, what that means is that it's hard to get from poor to middle to rich because when you're poor, percentage wise, you get to the middle, you're paying more in taxes because of the bracket system. And then once you reach a certain level of financial gain, you will it will cap out. So then it won't increase anymore. But you better make sure you make a ton of freaking money after that, and it's extremely profitable because it doesn't go off the profits, it goes off the total revenue that you are receiving. That's how the tax system works. So therefore, if you are a small business owner, you are more poor than when you had a freaking job. It's pretty simple. um Need to bounce. Coach said he's doing a cam show with baby oil in 5 minutes. What does that mean? That's crazy. Zombie box reviews. Okay. All right, sweet. Okay. So I hope that was a simple enough breakdown because I try to make it very stupid simple when it comes to business. What's up, Ace Tone? It's good to see you. Salt and Exile, IMS Gaming, Zan 1964, Katie Lyons 8172. What is up? Am I missing anybody? Hello to chat, everybody. And we're still gonna continue. Okay. And Unreal Aussie. I'd love to hear your views, Relic. My smoking is over and I'm back to work. Have fun at work. Okay, so by the way, everybody that's lurking, just type in a 1, say hello. I would like to see who's all in here. But I get it. If we're probably taking a dump and it's a heavy one, can't get to the phone. Gotcha. All right. So, turning around the reputation of Bricks and Minifigs. In terms of connection, where it comes from, everybody in corporate, it's not going to change. Their connection, if they stay, let's say in a fantasy world, Ammon McNeff is forgiven, by you, by me, everybody. Never gonna happen. He still, as a part of Bricks and Minifigs, it's not gonna work out because there's always gonna be that underlying thing. Like, you did all this stuff, boom, 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 boom. Doesn't matter if you fixed yourself, got better, whatever. You did this, so you can no longer ever be a part of this company. It's done. So that's where the first reputation can never be fixed. And like I said, using the examples of somebody famous, somebody that people like, Tom Holland, George Lucas, and I'm not painting them in the same bracket, very different brackets. But, whoever that you guys trust in terms of running a business or a company that you guys like, whether it's Warner Brothers, whether it's Marvel, whether it's Microsoft or Bungie, Goldman Sachs, whatever business that's coming in your head, that you're like, I like the way this business is run, just think transferring that CEO over to Bricks and Minifigs CEO. That's where that's where your first reputation starts fixing itself automatically. That's where you got to understand, a new owner already starts fixing a reputation in some people's eyes. That's why so many people, they will post on Instagram, they will post on social media, hey, just bought the store, this is now mine, this under new management, whatever it is, you get a percentage of the audience that you lost back. Hey, under new management, great, fantastic, awesome, great. New changes, you got a percentage back. Some of them you'll have to do so much that they hear word of mouth that's how you get them back, and it's going to be, that one's going to take time. Some of them you have to personally reach out to. You have to personally connect with that individual customer when you're a mom and pop shop, right? So if you look at the reputation of Star Wars, doesn't matter if Disney can never change. It doesn't matter, Lucasfilm needs to be sold to somebody else, and then 80% needs to be fired. They need to bring back erase everything that Disney ever touched from 2012, 2013 and on, and then create like everything that George Lucas wanted, bring back the EU, and even then, you're not gonna bring back all the original hardcore like clientele, customers, fan base, right? It's just not gonna happen. So then you have to have at least 10 years of purely well written, entertaining content. I'm talking films, video games, um, press releases. Like everything has to be near perfect. Like there's no room for error for 10 years straight, a 10-year straight run. Because as we all know, reputation goes away like that. Marvel, they had 10, you could debatable 10 years of a good run. Now they can't even bring half their audience back. You know, and some of you might try to use the brand new day like, oh, it's going to make $2 billion. $2 billion today is not $2 billion when Endgame came out. You understand? So it's about butts and seats, not actual the number of money that's being cycled through because of inflation. So just to use that as an example, if you look at how many people went to the theater for the movie Endgame, actually, let's use Doomsday for an example. If you look at how many people went to the theater, like for Endgame, and the average ticket sold through cinemas, it made two point something billion, right? In order for Doomsday to reach that same amount of number, they need around, it's the same amount of people sitting at the cinema watching their film. They need anywhere between $6 to $8 billion. That's how much they need to make at the box office to get the same people, same audience back. So it's not 2 billion and 2 billion. That's not how it works. It's not how it's connected. Like if my numbers might be off, but even with No Way Home and Brand New Day, even if they make 2 billion, they still haven't made as much money as No Way Home has made because there's less people watching the movie. So yeah, that's how inflation freaking works, right? Again, so you got to see how many people are coming back, not necessarily the financials. Financials are good, the percentage of profit, that's good, but you have to see how many people are actually coming back, every individual person. Got it? Okay, it's like you made $2 billion because you sold 2 billion tickets for $1, or you made $2 billion because you sold one ticket for $2 billion. Fantastic. So corporate, the brand itself can survive if there is a clear structure throughout that you cannot break as a Bricks and Minifigs individual store, that you're always going to offer 60%. It doesn't matter. You can offer more at one store, but you can never go under this number. Therefore, it's always fair, and other stores can be more fair depending on the sets, depending if the set will sell in that location. That goes off with integrity. They don't have integrity. Therefore, they cannot progress as a company. So that's why corporate needs to stay intact, not with its current parties, but with a brand new staff, brand new CEO. And at this point, we can all say that we need new owners for Bricks and Minifigs to survive. But with how it's currently going, and we're going to hear more and more stories about Bricks and Minifigs individual stores ruin their reputation of not only the brand as it goes right now, but of individual store owners. So at this point, exit strategies, regardless of how beneficial BAM staying as a franchisee is right now, that you should have an exit strategy, because the main argument for current stores to still be a part, owners to still be a part of BAM, is the connections they have, the POS system that like pretty much the entire structure that's there for an individual store owner. That's why most are not leaving, that are good people, and others are because they've spent so much money investing in that store that like they will go bankrupt if they close down. They will lose everything, their homes, all of it, if they separate themselves from Bricks and Minifigs. Okay, so there's different levels, but right now you gotta everybody should start planning for an exit strategy. It's just not viable at this point because these are the things that are gonna when you do the things like I don't think people understand how dedicated I was or you have to be to change reputation. Like, look, one sec. I brought these two things down because I don't think any other store is really making their own merchandise when with Bricks and Minifigs. So I was like I was trying to not only change the reputation but help the company as a whole. Like where I made my own merch. It's nothing crazy. These are the prototypes. I was making uniforms for the employees. So this is like the Bricks and Minifigs hoodies that I made. Not too bad. And obviously I don't have any more use for these, so I'm gonna give them to if Jen is in the chat, let me know if you want these. I have like two, and that's all I got. But how many people are investing in creating a uniform merchandise for their own individual store that hopefully they could offer to corporate, whether it's Bricks and Minifigs or any other franchise company? Not many. My connections over in China, where the factories were had contracts with Lego themselves, like I was actively pursuing these things. Okay. Which I don't think any other Bricks and Minifig store owner has done anything remotely to what I've been doing. Whether they made more money than me or not is irrelevant because of what I was doing for overall company. Even if they rejected most of my ideas or didn't care about my ideas, it doesn't really matter to me. But I was actively doing stuff. Like I always try to make everything better. Anything I see, I try to make it better. So obviously created my own merch. I created my own aprons, instead of that black with the, like I created white and Bricks and Minifigs blue aprons. Instead of that white one, I made sure it had more than two pockets and all of it has a science to it and has a clear look so that people can feel a certain way. Warm colors make people feel warm, but how warm do you want them to feel? Like how does the blue, the yellow, the white contrast against certain clothing? So what colors should all the employees be wearing? What type of clothing should your employees never be wearing? Because it might throw off the customer, the vibe of the store. There's all these psychological things that you got to study and really understand to change your reputation or increase the reputation of your business when it comes to person-to-person interactions, right? So hoodies like that, shirts that I made, hoodies, whatever that represents the brand and that I would eventually present to corporate, which I never got to do, obviously, because they're not using that color. Or I guarantee you, if they see this stream, this is the first time they'll be seeing the uniforms that I was creating. But I digress. So, actually, I don't digress. We're talking about reputation here. So, okay. If you have one bad owner, just one, and this is the point of hostile takeovers. You got one bad owner, its infection seeps through all the other owners. Even if you're a good person, like it's very easy for a bad person to convince a good person to do bad things versus a good person to convince bad people to do a good thing. Because lies use the truth and it's manipulated to sound like the truth, but it's a lie, right? So if you tell a peer of yours, another owner, hey, we are doing this much in profit and this is my strategy, and you could kind of see that it's dishonest, but they kind of start explaining to you in a way that makes you feel warm and kind and whatever, you might start doing that kind of business practice. That's why it's very important to weed out all the bad owners, because they will eventually affect the entire brand. And the reason why the exit strategy right now would be so freaking important is because even if corporate leaves, even if there's a completely new change of leadership, people have still gotten screwed royally. People have still gotten offended and taken advantage of by individual store owners. This wasn't like the situation with the Echo Base reported with the mother that brought in her autistic son to sell her the Legos and was only offered $100 because they were dusty. Matt and Ammon didn't do that. Josh and Brandon didn't offer that. Whether it's in the operations manual or not, those employees, that individual store owner, they are the ones that offered that. Bricks and Minifigs made that offer. Because you could even see in the language, like listen to people when they talk. This person said, yeah, Bricks and Minifigs offered me this. I went to another store. The other location offered me this. They're not saying the other Bricks and Minifigs, the honest Bricks and Minifigs offered me this. No, Bricks and Minifigs offered me crap. Another location offered me the right price. Fantastic. That's the language that's being used. So again, not Bricks and Minifigs is offering the right price. And this is not no shade to whether it's Echo Base or the mother, or it's just natural psychology. It's natural how we speak, especially if they are part of the same party. The negative will always be highlighted much brighter when the negative comes first. And then however bright the positive is, it's not going to have a name to it. It's just bright and positive. Like, that's what people need to understand. And talking about, when I say people, individual store owners. Like, please, if you are a good person and you own a Bricks and Minifigs, start creating an exit strategy. See what you can do. Start making sales. Sell whatever you got to sell. However, you got to liquidate the entire spot so you can get out clean. And I get it. Some of you guys did it for retirement purposes. You might not ever have money to open up or even get a job because you might be at that age. And that's the other part where I think the fans or the people following the story don't understand. Some people, like, do you understand how hard it is to get a job after 40? After the age of 40, getting a good job probably never going to happen. And then 50. And from 40, it's every 5 years. 45 to 50, 55. After 55, it's every year. Every year gets much harder. So some of these people around 55 and 60, they can't leave. They will never get a good job ever again. You're talking about grandparents that will only be making $20 an hour for the rest of their life, if that, after Bricks and Minifigs, after they close down the Bricks and Minifigs. They can't sustain their homes. They can't have their grandchildren over and take care of them. They're going to have to work over 40 hours a week. Their body's going to deteriorate much quicker. And so their quality of life is done. It's over. It is over. Like, some people's literal lives will be done. That's the scary thing about it. When I say exit strategy, you got to make sure that you end in a good place. Because right now, the best thing that all the Bricks and Minifigs owners can do is collectively file a lawsuit, make sure that there's no solvency issues after the fact, because that's the other problem. If Bricks and Minifigs does lose 100% across the board, there needs to be things in place that make sure that they can't file bankruptcy, that they actually pay the people who are owed the money. Because that's the other part. Even if they lose, who actually wins if they don't pay anybody anything? If they truly don't have money and there's no way to track where their money is going, how does anybody win from this? Yeah, we got these bastards taken down. Yeah, but we had more civilian casualties versus the enemy. So how did this work out? Like, we took down, let's say, 30 bad people, but put 100 good people on the street by doing so. That's not necessarily a great strategy. It's kind of like, we have some sayings in Portuguese that I'll kind of translate, like taking out a fly with a cannon, right? Like, you killed the fly, but you blew a hole through like 4 different homes, and one of them caught fire. You win, but now you got all this work to do. So Tyrannosaurus says, please say in the live stream that franchisees should shut corporate out of the banking before starting any exit strategy. No, I will not. You could say that. I will not say it because that's not actually good advice, unfortunately, Rick. Um, not every like the stores have their own banking, their own bank accounts. If there are stores that have connection with it, like Bricks and Minifigs shouldn't have access to your bank accounts. They should have access to your POS system to be able to look at it. They didn't have access to my bank account. It's your accountants and you that should have access to the bank account. Okay? Those are the only two people. And anybody you gave access to pay bills. And Zombie Box Reviews with a $5. Thank you. Coach had to cancel his cam show as he ran out of oil. What do you mean he ran out of oil? So I might as well give this money to you instead of Coach. Oh, well, I'm off to bed now for real. Okay, man. All right. What does oil have to do anything with his cam show? What happened? Okay. Every individual store owner should know how important or how deep you are with corporate right now. And you have to assess that and provide your exit strategy accordingly. Obviously, and I'm saying that because it is common sense, but unfortunately, I've been proven wrong in the past. Like so many people didn't negotiate their contracts, which is insane to me. So some of them might have gone in this without an exit strategy. You should have an exit strategy going into any business. And a lot of people can't grasp that mindset or that train of thought because I'm like, oh, I want to keep this forever. I don't ever plan on selling the company. It's not about planning on selling the company. It's having the strategy so you don't get screwed. It's having the strategy for the things that you cannot predict and making sure you get out fine, hopefully with some money in your pocket. Okay. Mad Marine says there's one thing they have that can be taken from them being the franchisor. It's privately owned, so it can be taken if they don't have the insurance to cover and awarded damages. Yeah, that's also a very important thing. There should be something being keeping corporate accountable to keep paying their insurance, because if they have something where they just stop paying their insurance, then also their insurance don't matter. They just file bankruptcy and nobody gets paid. Right? And it's also depending on what the court says, because then there's other court dealings. And also, we don't know how much time all this is going to take, because all these losses that are currently in place, it's going to take a while. Hopefully, it could be finished by the end of the month. Who knows? But for the majority of cases, you're looking at a year to a couple of years. Okay. Now, after that, there will be new lawsuits if everybody left Bricks and Minifigs that individually need to be looked at unless they all collect to one lawsuit together. But it'll still take 2 to 3 years. And a lot of people don't have 2 to 3 years just to survive until this is fixed. Okay. Could be wrong. I'm pretty sure that I heard that the store that sued BAM and won had an issue with BAM having access to their bank accounts, and they had to stop that before they started exiting. Some did, but that's up to them. That's not every store. You're right, Tyrannosaurus Rick. Some did, but yeah, that's not. It's stupid if they did that. And again, it's because they trusted the McNeffs too much. But no, like, you don't have to give anybody access to your bank account. Like, if any company, it's not in a franchise agreement to like have access to their bank account. It's like they would rather receive payments through ACH and not a check. You know, problem is their stores don't make enough profit for the investment to get them out of debt. What is the length of the average owner has owned a franchise? 5 years at most. Yeah, that is the length. That's pretty much just a contract, and a lot of people just get out of it. Lilypel, do you think that BAM is scared of the BAM map? The last relic? Yes, I do believe they are scared of the BAM map. That's why they sent a cease and desist I believe. Rose, if you're still in the chat, like you can let me know now. Like I'm pretty sure they sent BAM app a cease and desist. No, when the operations manual came out on the BAM app. Yeah, because the BAM app, like I think there's only been 2 times where like the information from what I saw wasn't 100% accurate, but it seems like that they're really vetting all the info and putting it on the BAM app. So that the BAM app is a good source. BAM franchising isn't worth anything. What assets do they have? Look, I don't think you guys are understanding how scummy companies work and how money is moved around. When you own multiple LLCs, you can pretty much show, depending on the dates you present that LLC's financials, that everything has no money in it. Because by the time you have shown the financials, you can move it to another LLC, you can move it to another bank account, you could move it to somewhere else. Therefore, every time they show it, shows that they don't have any money. They're operating at a loss. With that being said, like it's just a system, okay? It's not illegal per se. Maybe in the way I'm presenting it, and again, seek the advice of a CPA, of an attorney, of anybody you need to that's a professional, because I am not a professional in this. But I'll give you my kindergarten level of understanding, right, on this stuff, and explain it to you at a kindergarten level. You have 10 companies, 10 LLCs. You make $1 million and you put them all in one LLC. Then you move it when you have to present the financials to the courts. And they're like, man, they're operating at a loss. Okay, now give me this LLC. Then you move it again. Now they're operating at a loss. Now give me the financials of this LLC. And you keep moving it around. I'll show you that BAM have around 25 to 35 mil if it was up for sale. Okay. And again, the value doesn't come from money in the bank. It comes from its connections, its sources, its vendors, the current investment people had. Like I pointed this out before. How does Elon Musk, how did he make the Cybertruck? Right? He did something that was very smart. He asked everybody to just put $100 down payment for a $100,000 Cybertruck, right? So what does that equal out to? Okay, so if you put down $100 for a $100,000 truck, right? Let's say 100 people do that. So 100 people have a down payment of $100,000 worth of trucks. That is around $10 million. So then he takes that money to the bank, be like, hey, look, I'm going to sell $10 million worth of this stuff, no problem. But I need the capital so that I can actually manufacture to gain, let's say, a 30% profit. So he takes that $100, okay, that he got from everybody, 100 times 100 people, that's $10,000 only, right? He takes that $10,000, shows it to the bank, and then the bank is like, you got $10,000? Here's $7 million. Use that to develop the Cybertruck, develops it, sells it, and then gains a $3 million profit off $10,000 he presented to the bank. You know, that's stupid simple. Okay? There's little details in there, obviously, that I'm definitely not explaining. But essentially, the gist is that. Okay? So when they're showing financials, what is personal? Because again, you sue an LLC, the LLC usually doesn't have your personal assets attached to it. So we've also seen that they are paid out bonuses, all, you know, the owners of corporate, at the end of the year. So in their personal bank accounts, they might have 5, 10, who knows how many millions of dollars, because it's a bonus. Right? So if it's a bonus, that's not going to go into the money that can be taxed, and therefore that company had to pay employees, so they operated at a loss. Like, these employees are worth this much, and I had to pay all my employees. I don't have any money left over. Like, does that kind of make sense to you guys, of like where there might be money that we'll never be able to see every time it's presented? The BAM concept model has a market. It's how it's run and who is running it that's the problem. You get a good CEO. Yeah, and that's what I've been pointing out. You get a good CEO in there, a lot of problems are fixed. Again, now, and I can't stress this out enough. This story isn't big at all. It's making the rounds on YouTube. It's blown up on YouTube. YouTube is small compared to the real world. Okay. Everybody here, how many conversations have you had in person to person with family members, with your own spouses, with your kids, with your brothers, sisters, uncle, aunts, friends at work that know about the story as much as you guys do? Probably freaking not. It's my main reason for calling out or pointing out Lego YouTubers. If we want this to blow up to the mainstream media, to news outlets, not the news reports that we saw, to real news outlets that are going to be on television in front of your grandma and grandpa every night, the Lego YouTubers are the ones that have the power to do it. Not even RecklessBen has that power, because who does Lego pay attention to? The Lego market. What's the Lego market doing? Not reporting on Bricks and Minifigs. Bricks and Minifigs ain't the Lego market. They're the biggest franchise of Lego in the world. But who does Lego care about? Those who have influence, aka influencers, YouTubers. As long as the big YouTubers are never commenting on this, it can never reach the levels to where Lego feels that they need to interfere, or the normal public will also care about interfering and making the story blow up even more, because it has momentum. The Lego YouTubers have the ability to make sure that momentum becomes sustainable, self-sustainable, where it will never go out until it's all resolved. That's why me, other YouTubers like Echo Base, Toy Bounty Hunters, you name it, have to keep talking about it and putting out information and levels of understanding that a lot of people might not have, so the story stays alive. Because if we all stop talking about it, like, that's why RecklessBen like thanked everybody to keep talking about it. That's why you see Crystal say things like, my lawyers thank you guys for reporting on this stuff, because they get information that they probably don't have time to look through all of it. But also, the story could have died. It could have died. You know? Those LLCs may have money, but it doesn't make them valuable or appealing to anyone. There's nothing that anyone would want to purchase. They own nothing. You're wrong. You're wrong there, Bone Thrower, because you don't consider it as valuable. A business owner, like, okay, what I used to do is change the reputation of a spot, right? That's what I used to do. So somebody who sees opportunity, they don't care about the reputation. They care about what kind of skills can I apply to this particular business. Is this business, can it be profitable for me? Can it be beneficial to me? Can I make it in a way that I can make money off of this? Because that's how businessmen think. We find the details that we need to get rid of. We see what our ability is to make it a change and profitable. And then we have to be honest with ourselves to our own skills and realize, I'm going to have to hire this type of person. I'm going to have to hire this kind of employee, this kind of specialist, this type of lawyer, this type of specialized CPA, accountant, bookkeeper, so that I could change all this stuff. I need to get rid of this, this, and this, and this. Like, before I bought the Bricks and Minifigs store, I already had a list of everybody who needed to be gone at the Wesley Chapel location. Like, I knew where this, you know, where like the other, like it's a battleground. I had to know where the previous owner had access to and what he didn't have access to. I needed to know where my competitors were. I needed to know what they were doing. I needed to know who they're partnering up with. So therefore, I could make a game plan on turning this thing around. And I did. I did turn it around. So again, like everything generally has a value, whether it's a lie or not. Look at the housing market. It was all a lie, but you could sell it at a valuable rate because you lied. Or things probably were valuable and you turned it around to manipulate others. And even if that ain't the case, there's usually always assets attached to something where you could turn around and make a profit off of. The other reason business owners will buy a business is for tax purposes. So they'll keep businesses alive and use it as like, in this business, I took a loss, so then I could write it off of my taxes. Therefore, they don't have to pay as much in taxes. So it would be dumb to think that nobody would want to buy a business that is considered failing. Not that it's actually failing, but it's considered failing. That's how, like, there's so, like, the laws and the tax system, there's so many details that can be manipulated and loopholes that a lot of businesses are still alive today that shouldn't be alive, or that overstayed their welcome. But yeah. Besides the poor bastards that have already committed and signed, I love to know how many franchise inquiries they are getting or signing up. I would like to know that too. And it seems like a lot of people are still like signing over to. And again, not everybody who's signing on Bricks and Minifigs is following this story. There's a lot of owners that just signed on, or that are going to be owners, that don't know what's going on. Because who are they trusting? Matt and Ammon. And what are they probably saying? Like, look, there's like some crazy YouTuber online trying to make, like, spouting a bunch of lies and stuff, and that's the only thing we're really dealing with right now. But yeah, we got good lawyers. Don't worry about it. Anyways, welcome to Discovery Days, blah, 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 blah. And then they move on. Again, this guy knows psychology and knows how to use it for nefarious ways. May as well start a new company from scratch. Yeah, and if you look at the so Bone Thrower makes a good point. Overhaul will require new ownership and a new name. May as well just start a new company from scratch. You don't have to do that. A new name is starting a new company from scratch. Change the colors, slap on a new name. Move everybody, like, 3 miles over. New franchise company just starting. Woo! Same people. In the franchise agreement, it states that the owners of Bricks and Minifigs or corporate can own multiple businesses that might be attached to the same type of business and can operate the same way, but are not correlated. So they might own some local Lego stores that are not Bricks and Minifigs, that they just convert it into that individual store. And then what they could do, and this is the time strategy, what they can do, and companies have done this before. So let's say they go under, right? Bricks and Minifigs, the name is destroyed. You can't use Bricks and Minifigs. It's going to be a poop stain on the internet forever in people's homes. It's now a household name because it still isn't. Okay, can't use it. This is what we'll do. We'll create, let's say they have a Bricks and Minifigs in all 50 states. Let's create 50 different names, 50 different companies. Talk to the franchise owners, and then in Florida we're gonna call it like Minifig Mania, and they're Minifig Mania, and then in New York they're gonna call it like Builder Bricks, and they call it over there, and then they're gonna have all these names, and then they're gonna create their own corporation or create a private equity firm that's going to buy all of this and then create a brand new name that would be corporate, and all these would be franchisees that still have all the same vendors. They were always Bricks and Minifigs from the get-go, just a brand name, and then they change their name for the second or the third time. They get a third name, and that's going to be the new franchise. But again, it's if you look at like what happened in with the housing market, it still happens today. Like for the past 4 years, we were supposed to have a real estate kind of a real estate crash, and we still haven't had it. And it's because there are new tranches, there are new type of CDOs that exist, and we're not going to feel it. Well, only certain states have been feeling it, mainly because of COVID. There's a lot of things that prevented certain crashes from happening, and that's also very important to understand with business level of law department or the IRS to do an investigation into the company. But as far as corporate crimes concerned, they are mere fleeing big on a big dog. But also, they haven't committed any crime legally. They are innocent until proven guilty. All the crimes that we see is our opinion on that it's a crime, but to the court has not been proven for any of it to be a crime yet. So nobody in the legal realm needs to do anything yet, because that's the law. Like no matter how many video footage that we see, still needs to be proven that that truly was a crime. You know, and we're just waiting. All we are doing is sitting back and waiting for the courts to decide that what we have seen is true, and it's annoying, right? That's all we're doing. Lost and Relic National Brickhouse Lego Distribution LLC. Yeah, can ban recover? No, F them. Max still go. Yeah, and that's the other thing. Like, there are 8 billion people on this planet. If they lose 350 million, let's say customers, they could still gain another 350 million customers somewhere else. You know, like let's say they had 100 million. Let's say they had 100 customers. They didn't lose 100 customers with all this debacle. They lost 100 customers. Guess what? There's still a lot of customers that still shop at Bricks and Minifigs. All right, Relic paid that. I'm going to become a Lego distributor, become the largest in the US, get a contract with BAM. They then deny their orders after they think business plan is working. Will that shut them down? It might. You have to have a lot of money, man. They should be required to legally declare to a new potential franchises what current legal cases and financials are during due diligence. We pulled out of a purchase during diligence. Yeah, I think they have to. I think they are disclosing that, but they don't have to disclose details. You can always you could always present an opinion as well. Like, yeah, we're going through these current legal cases, like, but yeah, these guys are like, oh, like Amin and Matt could be like, yeah, like this is the stuff we're going through, and they're like, geez, that sounds like super serious. Like, it's not that serious because it's all a lie. Like, it's just this crazy YouTuber who wants clicks. That might be what Amin and Matt are saying to new potential franchisees. Who knows? I think people don't understand how easy it is to manipulate individuals. How many people like let me point this out. RecklessBen, when he got the story, he didn't just believe it. Okay? It has explained his process, right? When RecklessBen receives a story, he needs to figure out if this guy is a bad guy that's telling him the story or if he's a good guy. And then he needs to see if this was legit or unlegit. Because he's had times where he's going to go check it out, take up the case, and the person that emailed him is actually the villain of the story that wants to one-up somebody else. Because think about it this way. Bricks and Minifigs could have been the one that contacted RecklessBen to go after Brian Mansell and be like, this guy, he's like harassing us. He won't stop claiming that his Lego and he's planning destroying our corporation, our reputation. Can you please do something about it? And then RecklessBen would have been stupid to be like, yeah, I got you, man. Screw you, Brian, blah, blah. He didn't do that. Even when Brian told him the story, he'd be like, okay, cool. Interesting story. That's crazy. Let me go do my due diligence. And he's trying to get everybody's side of the story to see who's lying and who isn't. And then he goes and looks at the evidence and be like, we got something here. All right, Brian truly is the good guy. That's how you vet information. You feel me? And just like a lot of, and that's how you trick smart people as well. Like, how many people watched the RecklessBen video and be like, this is also a YouTuber with really good editing. I don't know if I believe it yet. It's very entertaining, but I've been in business. Let me see if there's a, let me wait till there's 5, 6 or more videos coming out. And let me see what's going on. Interesting. Well, they're always going to be have a critical eye, right? So not many people, like, how many people flip the script? They turn on people with no due process, no evidence. Like when here in the US, and I think it's actually worldwide, when somebody makes the claim that somebody else, especially influencers or actors, is a child enthusiast, doesn't matter if they are or aren't, if there is any evidence. As soon as that claim is made, career is over. They're done. Because so many people just jump on that wagon and be like, yep, F that guy. And then even people who are like, wait a minute, let's see some due process. Let's investigate. They're even demonized. Like, due process, you're also disgusting. You're also pathetic. Like, the internet is very volatile. It's very, how do you say, fickle? Is that the right word? And they flip like that. Yeah. And doesn't their franchisee's disclosure document raise red flags with the department that oversees them and able to report them? Apparently not. Kennedy Fried Chicken kind of situation. 100%. 100%. That's the thing. And by the way, hello, Rachel. It's good to see you. That's the thing, that I am one out of 3 people that I have found that was patron of Bricks and Minifigs. This needs a 60 minutes or a mainstream investigative show to go through the BAM map. Surely they are aware of it, but probably not considered big enough to cover. Or they're like, they still hold out hope that the CEOs or this company is a good company. Because that's the game that's being played right now. The more you investigate Bricks and Minifigs, the more you talk to individual store owners, the more you're going to find really good people. Employees that they're just there for a job, owners that put in their retirement and just want to be a part of the community and help people get some toys for Christmas. They're going to feel like Santa Claus, even though we like, so then your emotions going to be skewed, especially if you're a reporter and you're trying to look for a big story, and you're going to be like, well, like, I don't know, maybe RecklessBen is wrong. Maybe the YouTube is wrong. We've seen that before. And so they don't want to take the risk, because regardless, the story is a risk. It is a risk in people's careers, because we don't have, like, it's not clear cut of the end result, unfortunately. Yeah. But you see, NBC's looking into it. Like, here's also the thing. All of us, the audience, for the past year to 2 years, we probably didn't hear about this story, right? I can guarantee you none of you did. Only up until 2 months ago. I could guarantee you reporters, news outlets probably heard or were reached out to, just like I reached out to a bunch of YouTubers that wanted nothing to do with the stories. And Crystal probably reached out to some people. I don't know if she did or not. So now NBC's looking into it, maybe. Or now some other news outlets are looking into it, only after years of something really blowing up or really making it so popular that it's not that it's so popular that, like, they can't ignore it, but it's like, if we ignore it and somebody else wins, like, we kind of lost the story. And the Cali story of an Ammon buying stolen Lego, I think that was in Oregon. Think there's any relation, or just another Mormon named coincidence? Like, the name Ammon is like Hebrew, I believe. But yeah, it's a popular name in the Book of Mormon. But I believe it's a Jewish name. I'm not sure. I have to look into it. I think, or it might be Aramaic. I forgot the origins of that name, but I think you could look it up. Maybe Google it. Uh, Man, I haven't dropped out of the Sith Academy. Hell yeah, they did. Uh, don't be pessimistic, Relic. We're here. Their interest is not. I'm not being pessimistic. I'm being realistic because I've seen this play out before. And Derp 501st2 is in the chat. Everybody say hello to Derpy right here. Here's Derp. Bourbon and brisket in my tummy are nice. So, okay. So, like I pointed out, like companies have gotten away with practically like taking somebody out before, man. Like, I don't like if you look at the how many criminals have owned companies, whether it's the mafia, whether it's you know, um, politicians or just straight up criminals have like made it into companies. Like that's important to understand on how much something can switch in in a lawsuit like this, in a case like this. I'm not claiming anybody is the eBay story. Check out the McDonald's story. McDonald's is a pretty good one if you dig in deep on if you're cool with it or go live a little later. I'm not sure how like go live on your channel. I don't know. Radio, you should get in touch with Colin. Yeah, Radio. Must be a cryptic, but there have been a few on this case the whole time. Bam. Gonna be mad they woke some bored retired attorneys just looking for a project. Hey. Yeah. Yeah. Cool, man. Like everybody Derp is gonna go live. He usually talks about whether it's the NFL or talks about movies and DC and Marvel. Really big DC guy over there. But yeah, so oh man, again, the dedication it's gonna take. I don't think a lot of owners are prepared to dedicate themselves to turning around the reputation of something they had no control over in their current territory. And what you got to do is you got to change it for the surrounding territories too. It isn't just the current territory. Like there are YouTubers and there are going to be some Lego YouTubers that everybody is going to be able to see how much they sat back, waited for the fire to burn out so that they could still make some money off Bricks and Minifigs, whether it's through partnerships, whether it's through content after the fact. And you guys they will be exposed for sure through their own doing. So one thing, they got to start building up. Local Bricks and Minifigs have to somehow find a way to start building up the reputation with Lego tubers. That's one of the first steps, because a lot of like I would say most of the Lego community on YouTube that do this for a living, create videos for a living, they aren't on either side. They're just waiting which side is going to be more profitable to be on, whether it's going to be Bricks and Minifigs side or the RecklessBen side and the side of truth. It like the truth is usually not profitable. Okay, when it comes to how do I say, dealing with dishonest people or dealing with money. Okay, so the by the way, hello for Pink Queen. It's always good to see you. Some of us here and don't chat much, so I feel the interest is higher than most people think. Yeah. So again, like I know, like I can already tell you that in order for you to turn your reputation around, let's say after Bricks and Minifigs loses, let's be optimistic. Bricks and Minifigs loses and pays out all the people they hurt, not the current store owners, all the people that they hurt, that they did takeovers, like Crystal and Benjamin Gorman, some of the other ones that did lawsuits with them. Anybody who had a lawsuit with them, they paid them out. Ben is done with the story. It's all over. The damage that's going to be left for the individual Bricks and Minifigs store owners, even especially if they're a good one, It's going to take anywhere from 8 months to 2 years to get back to normal. Get back to normal, where they can start building a real reputation because of how damaging the reputation is currently. When I turned around, like I've been asked, like, would you ever consider being CEO of Bricks and Minifigs? Not by like people with money, but like people in the chat, and I'm like, hell no. That uphill battle, like I'm not. Changing reputation usually means you have money to take a loss on to change that reputation. I don't have the time nor money to do that. I'm not going to dedicate 7 to 10 years of my life to change this reputation. That would be insane, you know? And there's other things that could be attached to it. And not saying that it might take that much time, but that's the way to calculate that is really difficult until you see everything and you're in it. But I could guarantee you, for an individual store owner, you're looking at 8 months minimum. And a lot of them don't have capital to do so. They are completely unprepared. The absolute best thing they could do is liquidate everything, every freaking thing, from light bulbs to the dust that's in the corner of their store. Liquidate it all. Okay? And just so they could survive 2 months after it closes down. Because like I pointed out, it's not possible for some of these people. Some of these people, like, their best option is to turn on their car with the garage closed. That's the reality of the situation. After a certain age, you're never going to get a good job. Ever. You're going to have to start your own business if you want any money. Like, a lot of people can't be 60 years old and only make $20 an hour working full time. I'm talking about just their physical capacity to do so. That's not even going to help them make sure that the lights are going to stay on, or they're going to live any form of a good life. It's insane to me that people are like, oh, they could just get a job. They could just close it down and then that's it. So yeah, a lot of them are not going to be in a good situation at all, ever again, because of the investment on Bricks Minifigs. There could be lawsuits, but then again, lawsuits cost money. A lot of people won't even entertain the idea of leaving Bricks and Minifigs because they don't have money for even a lawsuit. They don't have money. They're living paycheck to paycheck by the money that they're gaining from Bricks and Minifigs, which is also insane. Only 5,000. These stores can easily buy direct themselves. BAM cock blocked them so they could charge them more than what they are paying. Not necessarily. I know of individual store owners that are not Bricks and Minifigs, that they have their own spot. They get the same profit margins. They get the same margins from Lego. Yeah, people give Lego way too much credit. Lego is a disgusting company. They are. They don't have morals. A lot of people are trying to cope because they don't want to support Bricks and Minifigs, but they can't wrap their head around that Lego might be supporting them because they don't want to live in that reality where Lego isn't this holy company that's in their head. Lego is disgusting as a company. It's a great product. They are disgusting individuals. Like they will sell their own mother for a glass of water. Okay? Like that. I don't know how to wrap this around everybody's head that thinks like Lego would work with you and be kind to you. They're not. So the way it works with Mad Marine, you know this. For franchising, especially this, if you're gonna get product from a particular company, that company also wants to work with the big boss. They don't want to work with these little scrubs that are individual store owners. They're like, okay, yeah, everybody can buy 5,000 a month from us, but what 5? So like, like 5,000 a month with 300 stores is gonna be what? Let me do the math here. It's gonna be 1.5 million. But what if we can just talk to corporate and just get one traction in, because you also don't want to deal with 300 different transactions. We want to deal with one transaction. Like we got to remember that, like, if you were a business owner, do you want to look at 300 different deliveries or just one delivery that's 1.5 million instead of 300 deliveries that's going to equal out to 1.5 million? No, you're going to get with the big boy, which would be corporate, and then it's on them to ship it out to the stores. You feel me? But yeah, and ain't nobody prepared. I win. Let me say thanks to my fans, my mom, and all the little people who got me here. Yeah, Tyrannosaurus Rick. Okay. I will never take BAM CEO position. Bill of Rights. You're not even subscribed. How dare you? How dare you? That's fine. If my content ain't good enough, you don't have to subscribe. It's all good. But leave a like though. Turn 55 years old in the end of this month, so I can relate. So yeah, for Pink Queen, you know what's up. Just learned IKEA hides all their profits in a charity. Yeah, because it's better to donate to a charity than give to the IRS, because then you can keep it. Damn, bro, just spent $160 on Lego. Don't make me feel bad. It was supporting my local shop, though. Literally called Brick by Brick. Seriously? Is there a shop called Brick by Brick? I was a manager at Lego. Oh, so here you go. I agree. I was a manager at Legoland, which is actually owned by Merlin Entertainment. But yeah, Lego itself is a greedy company. There you go. Misread Chats LLC. Oh, you will unsubscribe. My bad. My bad. My bad. By the way, guys, just a reminder, if anybody would ever want to donate through Streamlabs, it goes all of it directly to me. YouTube does take 30%. Just so you know how it all works. Lego, they'll take much more than that. They'll take 95% and leave you with 5%. That's just Lego for you. They don't care about you. They will never care about you. Okay. We're going to go through some videos, because a lot of people have been telling me to look at so many different YouTubers. And there was some that, like, I genuinely am curious about, that whether they're big or not. I do want to see what's going on. Other people's opinions. Let's do Shruby Bricks and Brick. The CEO's out of money. So I'm guessing some of you have seen this one, because a lot of people have been saying, oh, they're out of money. So let's see what's up. Brick and Blog Lego wholesale distributor. Ooh. On my search bar on YouTube, Mad Marine. By the way, with the $9.99, awesome. Search bar on YouTube or Google. But we'll first do this one. And I want, hold up. There we go.
It could all be over for Bricks and Minifigs. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about Bricks and Minifigs' financial situation, because it's not looking good. If you do go on to enjoy this video, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel. We're so close to 2,000, and hype the video as it spreads the message far and wide. But let's get into this crazy update. Mr. McNeff, the Bricks and Minifigs CEO, could be going bankrupt. With all the stores failing to produce the money they were, with all the ongoing legal stuff that's costing them a lot of money, this could honestly be the end of Bricks and Minifigs. But the big story in this video is the fact that Bricks and Minifigs had that deal with Lego. And as far as we're aware, they still have that deal, and it started in April 2026. Now, obviously, we didn't know if the deal would go through, but it seems like it did, and it seems like they're still in that deal. What this means is each individual store can put in an order for brand new releases for release day. They order it through corporate. They obviously then pay corporate for the stock, and then corporate pay Lego. Well, that's where the big problem came in. As we know,
that's not how that works, but I get where he could get that from, but yeah, no, I'm not gonna. Okay, let me continue a little bit, because
first was absolutely huge for Lego releases. I think there was over 80 new sets, and stores obviously are going to want the brand new sets to be able to sell to customers. And in the situation that they're in, they're going to need the best stock possible, just because they need to make some of the money back that they're losing from all this ongoing situation. Now, like I said, the stores pay corporate pay Lego, and then Lego ship out all the orders to the stores. It's a pretty simple, normal business agreement. But because August was so big for releases, obviously a lot of stores put in some huge orders that they normally wouldn't do. And with the state of Bricks and Minifigs,
look, I kind of get the gist. Well, look,
at the moment, corporate asks the stores for the money up front, instead of what I believe is probably normal practice, is to take the order from the store, order it with the company's money, and then recoup that from the stores at a later date, at an end of a month or at an end of a billing cycle, whatever it may be. But in my head, that's the normal thing, but they ask for the money up front. Now, if you're asking for the money up front, that's
that's not normal business practice. You shouldn't ask for the money up front. If you have the money in your corporate, you should be purchasing it. But okay, I think I'm just gonna leave it at that one. Little bit of old news. Yeah, I like his channel though. Go like and subscribe to that dude. His name is, I think it's Shrooby Bricks and Bricks and Pieces. Now, it's not normal for corporate to wait. Like, yeah, but also, here's the problem with the August releases, and with having not just the Bricks and Minifigs, but your own individual freaking store. I wouldn't want to sign a contract with Lego, because Lego is just going to make you buy the sets that they want you to buy, not the one that's going to sell at your location. You should never look. Lego releases should not matter to you as an individual store, okay? Because it's better to buy the brand new sets at the Lego stores on lego.com. It's never good to buy from Bricks and Minifigs or any other store. So if you know what you're doing as a business owner, you wouldn't care too much if they got on time or didn't, because all those sets, you have no way of knowing if they're going to sell at your spot, but you also know that you're not going to get the certain clientele, because they're going to go to the actual local Lego official store. All right. And you're probably going to get 2 times, 4 times points, where you're going to be an affiliate. Like, it just makes no sense for you to buy the new ones. Your store is based off of retired sets, of finding things that other people will never be able to find at a normal retail store. Walmart, Target, Amazon, Lego.com. And so if you don't understand that, you don't know business, and you don't know your business. The normal thing, so you get a credit line with the vendor. This case, Lego told BAM no. Yeah, because so you get a credit line with the vendor, but in this case, Lego told BAM no. Yeah, because for a credit line, you need a lot of money. They need to know if you could pay that credit line. And this is their first time. Lego always tells no the very first time. They see like how much you're going to be selling first. So this is how Lego starts. All right, here's the first release. It's going to be August 1st. Boom. And then there's going to be 3 to 4 more releases. So it's going to take up a year. And then usually they'll assess how much money you've made, how if you've kept up the payments on time, then you get a credit line where they could just buy and then they pay you later. but they also have to see your financials to provide a credit line. So yeah, it makes sense for them to say no. Because also the the theory is from Bricks and Minifigs is that, hey, if I partner with you, Lego, we're gonna make so much more money than we are making now. So you are actually a partner that we want. It isn't like a partnership of um of a distributor. Really, it's partnership with a company with like almost like 50-50 stake in a way, that your company is going to make this company even better, right? And so I think, sorry if that was a little confusing. It's even confusing in my head how I explained it. So DSP or DS Phil USA review, what up? So what Lego understands is that we can't give you a credit line yet, but we'll see how much our brand Lego can provide uh clout for your business, right? Yeah. And so Matt Marine, I was actually going to point this out too. So in a way, you can't really fault Bricks and Minifigs for not having the contract yet, or Lego, because they only got it around June. They didn't get it January, March. So then what happens? They're gonna see how much clout they can provide, bam, and then how much their brand has propped up Bricks and Minifigs. Pretty simple, pretty freaking simple. Okay. Now, Matt Marine, let me type this in the search bar. Brick and Blog Lego wholesale distributor. Getting official wholesale Lego is difficult because the Lego group keeps tight control over its supply chain. To buy directly or through official channels, you generally need an established brick and mortar toy and hobby store rather than just an online storefront. Yeah. And Toy House LLC is official and major distributor channels, direct Lego accounts. Yeah. What was the point of that? If people didn't know that, sorry you didn't know. I just thought that was the kind of common sense, and it's been reported on other. I tried to not report what other YouTube channels keep reporting on. I tried to kind of provide context. Thanks, Ben Marine, but I don't do like reading articles a whole lot. I'll leave that to Toy Bounty Hunters and Rose Investigates, because I get too bored, and then I get really irritated if it's not accurate. Whatever your camera is on is swaying. Oh, it's probably because I'm like, I keep hitting my table. Yeah. So my camera, you guys want to see what my camera is on? Oh, I see it. Hold up. This is why it's swaying. Because this is my stand. You see that? It's made out of Lego. That's where my camera sits. So that's why it was swaying, because it's not really stable. Here, hold on. Now I think it'll be more stable. Sort of. So there you go, animal. That's why it was swaying. My bad. Explains the process, discounts, and order requirements, etc. Cool. I will let Toy Bounty Hunters know so they could take a look at it. I don't really think it's that important, because it has nothing really to do, like, Lego as of yet doesn't really have anything to do with how they work in terms of this August 1st thing. Fine, the August 1st thing happens. That's news, nothing related to the lawsuit with Crystal and Benjamin Gorman. Nothing related to, like, here's again, I point this out. There's so many things that will distract everybody from the main story. You know, like, remember what these people freaking did to Brian Mansell what they are doing to individual store owners, what they are doing, what they did to Crystal and Benjamin Gorman, how scummy they are. Fine, they missed August 1st. That's not really Bricks and Minifigs. Like when you look into it, part has to do with Lego, a part has to do with priority, because Target isn't reporting all the Targets that they didn't receive the August 1st releases. Neither is Walmart, and I guarantee you they are. You can contact some, and they'll just be like, "Oh yeah, we haven't received it yet." Most of them have, but if you contact enough Targets, you're gonna hear from the manager, "Oh yeah, we just haven't received it yet. Shipment is late." Dude, so many individual freaking customers bought it to be at their house on August 1st. They did a pre-order, and it was there 3 to 4 days later. So that's why I don't really like. I'm not gonna go break that down because it's just it just don't matter. The important thing is to point out how like Bricks and Minifigs can't recover. Bricks and Minifigs, this is more. I would say like this stream is more a letter to the current store owners because you're screwed. You're not, as much as I like some of y'all, you're not gonna make it out alive. This is over. Bricks and Minifigs is done. Unless you guys can convince somebody to do a complete overhaul of your reputation after Matt and Ammon, like somebody big. It's either going to be a celebrity or it's going to be RecklessBen. If RecklessBen is like, I'm going to help all the store owners now, I'm going to help BAM corporate turn around the reputation, that's the only way you'll survive. RecklessBen has to save you. That's it. And that's the most realistic situation. And there's no way if Matt and Ammon and the Dushalls and everybody that's currently in corporate stay in corporate. I mean, all of them, every single damn freaking bastard in there that supports Matt and Ammon, if they are still there, there's no way RecklessBen is going to come in and help you. Because literally just RecklessBen making a 10-minute video for the benefit of Bricks and Minifigs, you guys will all be all right. Still got a long way to go, but you'll be all right in terms of YouTube. But guarantee you that's not freaking happening because they don't want these guys out of there. How long until they're done? They're not going to. So don't F with justice. They're not going to be done until the lawsuits are over. And even then, that doesn't mean they're done. Just the lawsuits are done. That's it. RecklessBen, Bricks and Figs is small fries. Y'all aren't thinking big enough. Yeah, they are small fries. So what? But we're talking about Bricks and Minifigs. And RecklessBen has way more important things to do. Like Bricks and Minifigs. Trust me. Like what's cool and what I think everybody can look forward to is RecklessBen's future content. Because he has things cooking that is way bigger than Bricks and Minifigs situation right now. Like Bricks and Minifigs is nothing to the stories that he has. Yep, if I was an owner, I'd be talking to a lawyer and a financial consultant to get out with at least amount of pain because there will be some pain. Yeah, so Matt Marine, this is 100,000 freaking million% dead on. If you're a store owner, read this freaking statement. Matt Marine, I'll repeat it. Yup, if I was an owner, I'd be talking to a lawyer and a financial consultant to get out with the least amount of pain because there will be some pain. You are not going to make out of this unscathed. You're going to have some scratches. You're going to have a broken leg. You are not making out of this. Just last week, I was like, you know what? There might be a chance. I think, I even talked to some store owners, like, who knows, like this is the thing that might save you. But no, you're done. You're done. Like you're not like Bricks and Minifigs. It's great if you somehow already have a nice fan base for your location. That's awesome, and you could keep maintaining that. That is great for you. Everybody else who maybe is living paycheck to paycheck off the store's profits, you're done. It's just it might increase a little bit, but that's your life forever. The way that you're making sales now, that's your life forever. That's what you should expect for the rest of your lifespan of Bricks and Minifigs. Whatever you're making today, this past month, that's all you're gonna make for the rest of your life at Bricks and Minifigs. Colin can confirm Team Ben is very busy that are not BAM. Yeah, Colin is here. Not saying we're not working on part 4 because we are, but there's a lot of stuff in the oven. 100%. Yep. Get out. BAM corporate lied to franchisees repeatedly throughout this. Yeah, and BAM is not going to want to pay their franchisees, man. Rose investigates. If I was a broke owner who couldn't afford to reach out to one, I'd ask RecklessBen to help me find one. I don't know of all of RecklessBen's connections. I don't know how much he could help financially to every Bricks and Minifigs owner who can get screwed in terms of the connection he has. If somebody knows how to make sure that somebody can get out of BAM without getting any scratches, living a good life after. The Johnny Oliver story with Buc-ee's has some similarities in the process. Helping an argue group versus big corp is genuinely great. It is great, and it's really great if it works. Ben's criminal case in American Fork was set for probable cause hearing September 30th. Nice. Store owners that are looking for help should hit my email. Here you go. No, I can't confirm or deny if Colin can help you. That's for you, Colin. But feel free to hit up, like, anybody who's reading into this, feel free to hit up Colin. Battleborn Mama's in the chat. Hello. It's always good to see you. Really, truly, it is always good to see you. And I just love saying your name, Battleborn Mama. It's the best. Yeah, get it. RecklessBen does great work. Bricks and Minifigs don't know what they opened up. By the way, your profile pic is goated. Same question I asked earlier is, will there ever be a payout from BAM if they get a judgment against them? That's where the trouble of solvency comes in. There has to be contracts in place that right after the cases are closed, that they don't just dip and run. That there has to be things in place for BAM to pay out everybody who's been hurt by them. Okay. And that doesn't happen very often. That doesn't happen very often, where when solvency occurs, that the person that they owe is protected and they have to pay that person. So that's the scary part. And that's where I think all of them, everybody that currently has a lawsuit against BAM, are being very careful to make sure that they're getting that in place. Okay, because any little thing, boom, it's kind of over for them paying everybody out. They could be destroyed, BAM could be destroyed, but nobody wins. That's the other thing. Like, winning is one thing, destroying is another thing. It ain't both. If you destroy them, we do not win. Nobody wins. Okay, it needs to align with both, where they're somewhat destroyed, and then people can win. And then after that, it's fair game. Yeah, but people already took all the chances they have left, Bone Thrower. There's some people that took all the chances. I don't think you understand. I've met a few people that they were ready to they got screwed so hard later in life. They were ready to end it all, just not be on this plane. And unfortunately, some of those people are no longer with us. I don't think people understand that going with Bricks and Minifigs was them taking a chance. Like, it's a sad thing, but some people will actually not survive. Statistically, if BAM goes under, some people will not survive. Cindy Lou, hey Cindy Lou, I think I sent you a message on Facebook. Everyone, Relic, I thought you like saying my name since it's so fun to say. It is. Was it you that has possibly a remote job? Let me know, because I think I sent you a message on Facebook. If not, I'll send you another one. But yeah, the DOJ will come looking for them should they crash all the franchises. Owners should contact the state Congress people and senators. Yeah, but how many of them? How many of them are on the side of Bricks and Minifigs, or don't want the clout because whatever reason? Whatever reason, we gotta be careful. Gotta be careful with who you're trusting. Yo, what the freak? The Streamlabs just sent. Do I have bots on Streamlabs? The freak. Oh my gosh, my phone's almost out of battery. Uno segundo, peoples. Yeah. But okay. All right. Go back to some of these videos I wanted to see. Want to go through with you guys. Beautiful playlist. Where are the videos? Here's the issue. Is just that we keep okay. Colin, do you know, or can you announce when part 4 is coming out? That's what I'd like to know. And I think everybody else would like to know as well. Yeah. What the freak? Actually, we're probably not going to watch any videos because YouTube's being stupid. But Colin, if you're still in the chat, let me know. Or let me know, give me a gist. Last Relic, can you explain the time that goes into cleaning dirty sets, cost analysis, when you would take in trades? Okay. So first of all, when you get in a set, you already take out your cleaning supplies. Usually you have a toothbrush that you assessed how thick the dust is. So let's take this set. This set came in, right? I would take a toothbrush and brush it hard on the studs to see if it just blows out, and then I would take a can of air, blow it to see if I could just get rid of by dusting it. And then sometimes, depending if it's a set that I know a lot of people like to hide fake pieces in, I would split it in half in a spot that I can just clamp it back on, and then check to see if there's any like mega blocks or anything else in there. Okay. The first thing I want to do is see through Bricklink and through US currency in the States how much it was sold for completed in the past 6 months, all intact. And that's the price. If I don't have, so I will offer anywhere from 50 to 70%. Okay. 65 was the main one. I needed at least 35% profit. That's usually, unless it's a set that I really wanted in the store that was going to be good, I'll even go up all the way to only 20% profit range. But 35% is where I would be at. I would give them 65%. I would make 35%. So sometimes some sets do take forever to clean. And we would always tell them, hey, if you take this home and clean it yourself, because it's going to be a lot of labor for us if it's really dirty, right? If it smells like cigarettes, keep it. It's trash to me. I'm not cleaning cigarettes. Like, you have to use hand sanitizer for for this set. Let's say it's really dirty. First of all, you scrub it hard with a toothbrush. Then you dust it off. You take a paper towel and hand sanitizer and you rub it. It usually brings back the shine of the Lego set. And it's that simple. Okay. And then you put the hand sanitizer all over it and rub it. If it and usually spray a little bit with Lysol, disinfectant, whatever, rub all of that as well. Okay, and then it's ready to go on the shelf. Sometimes it takes a long time because it's really thick dust and it's disgusting. If it's sticky, that gets worse. You have to repeat the process like 5 to 6 times. If there's battery acid and stuff, it's trash to me. I will not work on it. I just like, hey, sorry. If you want to take it to another spot, feel free, but we can't buy it here. Right? And again, you just have to calculate, okay, if I'm paying my employees $15 an hour and they spend an hour on this, that's $15 that I just had them spend. So at least half of that is what I'm going to count as labor. So around $7.50. But I still don't really, I'd rather give them the option. And on the low end, like if it's busted, if pieces are broken, or there's rare pieces that are missing, that's when you start discounting. Like certain blues, they will break in half, and maybe that piece only came in that set. You have to really assess the set. You have to look at through the piece count which pieces are exclusive to that set alone. If it doesn't, great, it's going to be easier to calculate. Then you got to make sure that they have those pieces in that right color, because when people lose them over time, they'll just replace it with the same piece in a different color. That takes away from the set. Maybe a minifigure has a crack on its side. That's no longer a minifigure. It's incomplete. And then, like, let's say a set is $100 and it has 3 minifigures and each minifigure is $5. That's the value of those minifigures. That's $15. And they don't have those minifigures. It's no longer $100. It's now only worth $85. Okay. And I'm going to look anywhere between giving you 50 to 65% of 85, not 100. And then I have to see how well it sold without the minifigures. So it's an incomplete set. Okay. So that, like, I never used the calculator because it was just dishonest. I wouldn't do it. But yeah, like, and I trained every single employee to do it like that. And the very first thing I would do, I would ask them, hey, how much do you want for this stuff? If it's a number I'm happy with that they say, I'm like, all right, are you sure? Because I haven't even looked at the value of this. I could tell you it's probably worth more, but is this the number you're happy with? And they're like, yeah. Okay, boom, here you go. The point is for the customer to leave with anywhere from a half smile to a full smile when they leave the location. That's the goal. The goal isn't to get a bunch of cool sets and screw over a customer. Did that kind of help answer? Yeah. Hand sanitizer, that's good to know. Yeah. Hand sanitizer will bring back the shine. When taking in a set, do you take that into consideration on price of the trade? Kind of wondered if that went into the. What do you mean when taking a set? Do you take what into consideration on the price of trade? Kind of wonder if that went into that one issue of the Death Star set. My buddy says he takes that into consideration. Takes what? What? Let me know what into consideration, because I'm kind of confused. One? What one? Oh, what's up, Julissa? I'm guessing you're catching up. All right, so the set's value that you gave up becomes marketing, in the sense it brings in more customers to purchase other sets or figs. Yes, it does. Especially if it's good for your store. Like, obviously for my store, Star Wars sets. Anything Star Wars, I could use for marketing. Like, we got this. And obviously every store it's Star Wars sets, but my store in particular, because we had so many collectors of Star Wars collectors come through, then that's what we catered to. That and like big life-size like sets, like the Spider-Man head that I built. Cleaning time, etc., labor. I think, look, yeah, you could take that into consideration. By the way, yes, Cindy Luhu. Yes. Cleaning time and labor. Again, if I was gonna clean the set, I would discount it. I wouldn't discount it because it's just me doing it. But if I'm gonna have an employee do it, then I have to calculate that. But I would let the customer know, like, hey, look, this guy gets paid $15 an hour. If I break that in half, every hour that he spends on it, and I'd have to assess how long. I think this is going to take me an hour. So I'm going to take around $7.50 off because it's time that he could be doing something else, that will help out the store. So I'd have to calculate how beneficial my employees were to other things that they could be doing versus this set. Now, if it's a nice set, then I wouldn't really calculate anything off because I'm like, well, without the set, like it actually adds to the store. So I'd rather them work on this super dusty set than do anything else in the store. Then I wouldn't take that off. And I think again, like there's many ways to assess it, but you don't have to screw somebody over that much. And again, the whole one of the things from the Echo based story is that they claim that they would take apart the set completely, piece by piece, and rebuild it back together. And that's why it's discounted. By the way, that's a complete utter lie. If anybody tells you that, you could punch them in the face practically. Don't do that. I'm not saying to do that, but I'm saying that's a possibility of life because it's a bold-faced lie. Nobody in the right mind will take something apart, clean it, and put it back together to sell it because then it's no longer profitable. Why the freak would you do that? Now, if they go home and take it apart and put it back together while they're cleaning it, that's great on them because it's their freaking product. It's their toy. It's their collectible. But there's no way in hell anybody's doing that. If they are, full-blown retards. 100%. Break down the strategy applies to resellers, shoes, figures, clothing. Yeah, pretty much. You just have to be. It's so easy to not be a piece of garbage. All you have to be is an honest person when it comes to business. It costs you nothing to not be a piece of crap. It costs you nothing to be honest and take care of your customers. It's a concept that apparently some Bricks and Minifigs owners and corporate don't understand. That I don't know. The ratio of clients taking gift card instead of cash. You can just put credit into the system, store credit, and you don't have to put it into a gift card. No punches, only triangle chokes. Yeah, 100%, 100%. Apart the Death Star. Yeah, ain't nobody taking apart that. I've taken apart before because I noticed there was dusty or we had some pieces missing, and there was some Mega Bloks pieces in there. I've taken it apart and built it back together just for fun, and it sucked. I'm talking about like a week. I follow you, Relic. Your honest and fair integrity is something money can't buy. Thank you, Rick, my man, Rick. Sir Vid, if they do, they're just playing with the toy. Exactly. Compressed air paintbrushes. Yeah, compressed air and toothbrush will clean a dusty set just fine. Highly recommend you take a paper towel, rub just a little bit of hand sanitizer on it like that. Okay, where it's wet, and then rub it all over. And sometimes put hand sanitizer on your Lego set. It brings back the original Lego shine. It's really nice. And it makes it so it's not sticky. Sometimes when it's really thick, you want hand sanitizer on it and brush it with a toothbrush when it's sticky, which is disgusting. I feel I break down those things to sellers that they get it and builds a great relationship for future buys. Yeah, like that's the other thing. Like everything, breaking down how you do things is a way to also build rapport with the customer. This is how we value a set. This is how we do this. Now, I would like to hear your guys' opinion. Do you guys think there's any way that individual store owners can survive everything that's happening? Let me know in the chat. Let me know. And if some of you, I've been like, some people have asked me like, hey, why aren't you making more videos or talking about the news updates on Bricks and Minifigs? I'm not a news channel, and I will give you guys quality entertainment from what I can provide for you. Okay, I don't dissect every little thing. I give my opinion when I'm on Toy Bounty Hunter stream or Echo Base Network stream. I'm usually there because I know I can answer these questions. I can provide either entertainment or perspective on something. But I'm not the guy to. I'm not gonna grift. I'm not going to just like you. Sorry, my bad. I just hit the whole table. I'm not gonna just try to make as many videos to get as much money as possible. I'm gonna try to provide quality and my perspective on things, not just keep reporting on every little piece of news that comes out. Whatever I think is important, I'm going to talk about it if I've seen it and if I have a perspective on it that's unique from me versus others. But I'm not just going to do the same thing over that everybody else is doing. So if that's why you guys don't see me. And again, it's also I am bored with the Bricks and Minifig stuff. Honestly, I am. I just wish RecklessBen just put out all this stuff and it's over. The freaking court is over, and I could get back to regular content, to trying to provide a future for that's what I'm doing as well. But like, I don't know, like I just rather win. I'd rather the good people win already. You know what I mean? I'm not looking for something grandiose. I'm not looking to freaking take away people's time. Like, come watch me so I can make money. I want to provide you with good content. That's it. Good cleaning advice from expert. What's up, Aaron? And then Eric Higa. Unless BAM Corporate just goes bankrupt and releases everyone from their contracts, I don't see a way of recovering. But do you think even after that, Eric, they can recover? That like an individual store owner can recover? Mad Marine, nope. Get out while you can. Based. And we all know that won't happen. Keep it real, Relic. You cracked me up on EBN. That's why I'm here. Yeah, what did I say? What did I say, dude? It's nice. You can pull from your personal experience. Is it nice? Because it wasn't nice getting screwed. Like, that's why I say, like, here's how you make it on YouTube. Here's how you could get over 1,000 followers on YouTube. Spend a few years, 3 to 4 years, building up a store, and then have corporate destroy your life, and then have nobody care about you for like a year. Make sure RecklessBen eventually gets involved, makes viral videos, and then have EBN invite you on their show, and then you might hit 1,000 subs. While at the same time, for 4 years, only getting like 100 subscribers and one person in the chat every now and then. That's how you make it on YouTube. That's my story. So yeah, it wasn't great getting screwed. Not enough, so I don't have that sticky grime on mine. I have some sets on display year round, and I display others on rotation. And the punking is here. So you would be good and content with good content. Yes, I think. Punking has been punking. Nice. Rick, you making the punking proud. Yeah. So every rose bricks has a thorn. Rose brick has a thorn. Yeah. Look, what bothered me is that there were so many YouTubers that were doing good work and eventually they started clickbaiting. But again, the Lego tubers, like, guys, if you guys, in the nicest way possible, can maybe not pressure, but see if you could get these Lego YouTubers to start talking, these big ones, to just like point out this story. Lego will never care about the videos I make. Never care about the videos any law tuber makes. They won't care. Okay, but because it's not going to affect their bottom line. What will affect their bottom line is if Lego tubers stop buying Lego, if they report on this, if they call Lego out, and because remember, Lego tubers, majority of their fan base is not watching or knows anything about Bricks and Minifigs. They just watch those Lego tubers and then they buy their Lego, walking oblivious with the thing they love the most, which is Lego. So if their Lego tuber starts talking about this, I guarantee you, like, if all the big Lego tubers start talking about this, you could RecklessBen's first video, which is almost at 7 million, will double. You guys have no idea how passionate, how freakishly passionate Lego people that are into Lego are. Right? Covering Mega Blocks, $5 super chat. Start covering Mega Blocks. No, Mega Blocks. I don't like Mega Blocks. The only good thing they ever did was make partner up with Halo, and even then they didn't even build all the right ones. We don't want solutions. We want drama. Not me. I care much more for solutions. Like, dude, I'd rather talk about how garbage the Spider-Man movie is. I'd rather talk about, you know, comic books and fun stuff, or even business stuff that's fun. Like, but this is, there's a universe where all the Relic kids have gold teeth, and you buy Miss Relic a gold-plated AK-47 for her birthday. Guess what? Here's a little fun story for you guys. So my wife, she's changed her tune. Coming from Korea, right? Very much against guns. She's changed her tune, and it wasn't because she went and shot a gun, which she did. She was so good at shooting. She got a Glock. I don't know from how many yards away. I couldn't even get it on the target my first time shooting. On her first time, hit the center with every shot. Boom, 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 boom. And even my friend looked at me. He's like, dude, don't ever piss her off. And she had fun shooting. Okay. Now, she's changed her tone. The more we talk about like why guns would be good, she's now very much for guns. But yeah, before she wasn't. And man, oh man, those were interesting husband and wife conversation. Thanks for putting me on blast like that, Relic. What I do? My bad. You see, like, I already forget some of the stuff we already talked about. Austria Adams, yeah, we need more Spider-Man and Star Wars discussions. Yeah, I'm kind of done with Star Wars though. They suck. Even though I got my lightsabers right over there. The scripture assembly, and then ammo. I've tried to be a mechanic, tool influencer, so my favorite brand would back me. They don't give a crap about the little guy, no matter how many of their tools you buy. And Aaron, damn, you won't believe what Relic said about Echo Base. You won't believe it. What I say? Jasper with the cow. There's like an axe throwing place close to where I live. Yeah. But anyways. Man, I don't know, guys. I think I am more doom and gloom now when it comes to individual store owners. I just don't think it's going to work out at all. I think these individual store owners need to kind of start waking up and realizing that there's no way out of this. Like even if they still survive, that the uphill battle is so freaking steep that, man, yeah. But yeah, it's so freaking steep that it's not gonna be worth it. It's just gonna be too much, just freaking too much. But yeah. Anyways, I think I'm gonna call it a night. Well, actually, I will make another stream. Maybe I'll just do it here. Nah, I'll make another stream. Maybe playing Halo. Who knows? But yeah, makes sense. You're on the doom and gloom path. You are Jazz Spider-Man from Spider-Man 3. Who the freak is Jazz? Oh, you mean Spider-Man while he's all emo and stuff. Okay. I expect more from you with your puns. Okay. And Colin, I saw your message on Insta. Question. Relic, you own Marvel and Star Wars. How would you fix? What source material would you pull from for trilogies and such? Well, that okay. Marvel's a harder question than Star Wars, but this is what you would have to do. You'd have to go all the way back. You'd have to erase all the way back till right after Infinity War, because Endgame was a trash movie. So you'd have to pull all the way back to Infinity War. Does the snap? Then you would start, and it would be really hard to pull from some comics. You could pick up Spider-Man 2, but you have to have the 5 year like gap of like what these heroes are doing. All right. How are they building governments? What villains are coming in? I would probably have Ultron as one of the main villains until bringing everybody back and realizing that he's in the internet and they never killed him. But if you get to Endgame, you'd have to use the Infinity Stone, not the Infinity Stone, the Time Stone to reverse and fix everything. But people will have to die in order to do that. Not like Scarlett Johansson, Black Widow type deal. Like Rhodey would have to die. I would kill off like a lot of characters, like a lot. And then from there, I would actually start again with the Civil War stuff and kind of adapt an old man Logan spin to the Civil War stuff where like the United States split into like 4 to 5 different governments. The world is kind of in chaos, but there's an order in this chaotic world where like the villains have taken over. And I wouldn't do incursions and I wouldn't do multiverses. And I probably wouldn't never make Steve Rogers a douchebag that abandons his friends and goes and steals a dude's life because he wants to bang Peggy Carter. Right? You know, keep him the character that we all knew him. So yeah, Marvel, and I would hire like actual fans to really break it down. I wouldn't trust Kevin Feige with a damn. Star Wars is much easier to fix. You just, other than the Kenobi novel, which was created before the Disney bought it, like everything after Disney, whatever Disney touched, you have to erase. Rogue One, Mandalorian, whatever you like, Andor, whatever you deem good, it has to be erased. Bring back the EU, re-release all the movies, especially the original trilogy, unspecialized. Then I would start off with adapting video games into movies, particularly The Force Unleashed, to get people back into the theaters watching Star Wars. And I would start off doing live action Clone Wars, do some de-aging technology, and for the next 5 to 10 years, making sure every story is not only freaking perfect, but there's at least 3 to 4 movies a year. After 3 years of only one movie per year of Star Wars, and then doing some TV shows that are only live action. From there, yeah, and I would finish Force Unleashed 3. From there, I would start doing 7, 8, and 9 and bring back most of the actors from 7, 8, and 9 just so that we can erase the memories of Force Awakens, Last Jedi, and Rise of Skywalker and give them new characters. And do as close to as possible what George intended, but also while keeping the EU and legacy. And 7, 8, and 9 would probably take place 800 years after Cade Skywalker, where Cade Skywalker takes place, I believe, 135 years after Return of the Jedi. Yuuzhan Vaughn would be involved. There would be a lot of things involved. But yeah, it would be something that it can never touch the original trilogy or the prequels. But it would also be enough where like we have to end this. The dark side needs to be ended because bringing balance to the Force is not the dark and light coexisting. It's just light. It's getting rid of the dark side. For Pinkwing, have a good night. Love. If you don't start another stream for a game, I'll see you then. Yeah, like, oh yeah, I am going to start another stream. Force Unleashed would be pretty sick. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to set up for the other stream. to finish that garbage Halo game that I've been playing. It's nothing like it was, dude. It's so bad. It's bad. I don't like it. I don't like it not one bit. But yeah. Um but again, thanks for everybody who donated. It's been awesome. I have to get on a call with some people, I guess. But yeah, we are good for tonight. I hope that helps some people understand the situation. And remember, anybody who would ever like to donate on the Streamlabs side, all that will go directly to me and my bills. No need to share it with YouTube. But yeah. Okay, guys. Thanks for being here. And I'm sorry, I'm going to stop shaking this camera so much. But I need to eat. And then I'll get back to another Halo stream. So stay tuned to the Halo stream. Okay. Latter Day Saint 77. You were just chilling, didn't say anything in the chat? Man. All right. Let me direct you guys. Let me raid. I'm gonna raid Derpy, I think. If he can. Let me see who's on. If the Toy Bounty Hunters is on, I'm gonna raid them or Derpy. But there's more Bricks and Minifigs stuff happening. Okay. Where do I go? Agreements creator, Let me see here. It is direct. Oh, right here. Let me see. Derp. I don't know. Okay, let's see who's live right now. Who the freak is live? Guess not Toy Bounty, but Derp. And he won't let me. Man, damn. Oh, never mind. I screwed up. Oh, have a great night. Thanks, Cindy Lou Who. Let me see if I could direct you guys to Camelot. Oh, sweet. Direct you guys over there. There you go. Bye, guys. We out now. My bad. Okay. See you guys later in like a few hours.